Hey, what's going on? Kane here, back with another stream. I'm feeling like playing some 14. Just figured I'd stream that. Didn't have anything planned. I'm kind of just like kind of in this weird funk going right now. So I didn't like. I'm not sure what I want to do anymore. My channel. Still trying to figure out shit. So I feel like today I might just do some 14 with all the hype of tomorrow, with FanFest tomorrow and stuff like that. But I don't have anything really planned for this either. Maybe I'll work on. I still have some variant to work on. I can do like dailies and stuff as well. For today, I haven't done those yet. And yeah, it's kind of just wanted to hang out and just do whatever. Let's change. It's weird. Anyway, yeah. So like, just kind of just hanging out, just kind of chill stream, just some, you know, some game music in the background. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like playing a lot of Monster Hunter earlier today. It was like I kind of want to take a break from Monster Hunter for now, just for tonight. I was playing a bunch earlier today, and just with all the hype of FanFest tomorrow, and hopefully some good news comes out of it for the next expansion. It's feeling like jumping and logging in 14. I did the event yesterday, actually, on off stream. I did the New Year's event here. Got my my New Year's fortune, which apparently was good luck. So we'll see how true that is. It was nice to see some, you know, some positive stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, like I don't have anything really planned. I just kind of just, you know, logged in. Like I said, I can do my daily stuff. I haven't touched those today. I haven't played this game. I haven't really been playing much since, like, other than like yesterday when I did I logged in. I did like I think the Alliance Roulette and normal raid, I think, or something. I didn't do a lot. I did the New Year's event, but I haven't really been playing a lot of this off stream, even like since I streamed it that one day a bunch. So it's like there's not a lot going on. I mean, I moved I did change my server. I am now on Midgar somewhere. It's actually my old stomping grounds when I started playing the game. It's actually the first server the original server I started on. I came full circle back to my old server. So, you know, there's nobody here. Like, I haven't been on the server in what, 9 years? Really? Like, technically haven't been on the server for like 9 years. So I don't know anybody. I'm not in a free company. um, which I gotta like kind of search around because I don't want to just join any free company. Someone, as soon as I literally logged in at yesterday when I changed servers, I logged in and immediately somebody sent me an invite, and I'm like, listen, I understand that you want to like you're trying to invite people, but it's like that to me that's the most I don't know, intrusive and obnoxious thing you could do is just send somebody, like, not even like message them like, hey, are you looking to join an FC and or this is what we offer. Just sending somebody an invite. It's like, no, I don't like. I don't know. To me that's just like, it's kind of annoying. Like, I don't want to be spammed by somebody just because I'm not in an FC in a free company or a guild. If you're not familiar with that, it's basically just a guild. Like, if you're gonna at least try to sell me on what your free company is before you just blindly send, spam me with an invite. So, I gotta shop around, I want to find a free company that will actually be beneficial for me to like enjoy the game again. Because playing this game solo, which I have done, I would say 95% of the time I played this game is practically playing solo. It's pretty miserable. It's definitely not a game you can play solo, and if you enjoy that, then, that's good. But like, I feel like not having friends to play this game with, it definitely gets old. So I definitely want to find a free company that can, kind of re-spark that love I had for this game. Excuse me. Years ago, and make me want to log in every day and play, whether just doing old shit. There's like, there's stuff I haven't done. I haven't done everything. There's a lot of things I haven't done. I never, there's a lot of Savage Tears I either haven't touched or didn't finish. But I mean, whatever it is. Like, I don't have every mount, especially from extremes, I don't have every mount. So like, there's always that. I can, like, I don't mind if I join if I find a group of, that does stuff like that. Like, because that would like, hopefully reignite my love again for, like, playing with people who also enjoy the game, and for me to like actually enjoy the game again and do stuff. But again, we'll see. Well, yeah, it's still slow going for me because like I did take like a 2-month break because again, there's not much going on right now because it's the end of the expansion, and the game's been in a pretty bad content lull for a while prior to that. So and especially when you're playing solo, it's hard to do that. Even when I was in my group for Ultimate, like, we only did, only doing that. Well, we did actually, we did that. Four days a week, I want to say 5 days a week. I forget. We did a decent amount. I mean, we did. I think it was like 4 days. I think we did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I think. Yeah, Sunday was our longest day, and I was enjoying it. But like, thing is though, like, when you have to, like, when you're progging a fight that takes a while, and it's, you're following like a schedule, you have to be around, like, when the game starts to feel like a job because you have to, show up on time and, put in all your, participate, and it stops becoming fun because it's just the same thing over and over and over again, multiple times a day or multiple times a week. Same thing every day, multiple times a week. Like, even if it's with a good group, it gets old. And like that's the one thing like I've always struggled with when it comes to like progging. Like one of my issues was like every time I would join a Savage group, I would join a group that was slower than I wanted it to be, and it ended up being like, you know, stuck on fights that shouldn't be stuck on, and then it just kind of just becomes old and boring. And when you're doing that multiple times a week, multiple times a month, you know, it definitely takes a toll on you, and eventually you're like, it just feels like a job, like you're just showing up to be there because you have to. So like one of my biggest issues, like for me personally, is like I hate when I start to make a game feel like a job. That's like one of the reasons why I never finished Omega Savage back in Stormblood, because being, you know, just like how, you know, taking a long time to prog fights and like, you know, not make progress or make slow progress, and it's like it starts to get old because you're like tired of this fight, you want to do the next one, and then it gets, you know, and then if you especially if you go backwards in progression, you know, it definitely takes a toll on you, and eventually it becomes not fun. And I mean, that's not even just like, I'm not even just, you know, not to complain about like, you know, statics and stuff like that. Even Party Finder's that way, like where, you know, if you're not on top of it the first week, you're guaranteed, like you're not gonna, like there's a very high chance you'll be stuck unless you get, you know, a unicorn group that clears it very quickly on a fight. And that's happened to me a lot, and it gets old, it gets annoying, because it's like when you know something for like when you do something and you like a fight and you do it multiple times and you know how you know you're doing it right, but you're relying on 7 other people to do it right too, and say 2 people or whatever it is are not doing it right, and it, you know, it just, you spend like, you know, an entire day just not making progress. It's just, you know, it gets old. Like it's, so like that's kind of one of my things is like, I don't know, it's hard for me because like I want to enjoy doing stuff like that, but I don't want to spend hours and like weeks, you know, days, hours and, you know, hours a night for days on weeks on end, and you know, yeah, so anyway, that's just, you know, I feel like every time I load up this game, there's just something I rant about. It's just kind of just the nature of this game and just my experience with playing it, and just always something I have to feel like I have to share or rant about or whatever it is. But anyway, yeah, so my point though is that I'm hoping to find something that will, you know, be active, and it's like if I feel like joining in, I can join in. If I don't, not a big deal, you know, I can just, you know, hang out with people if I'm feeling up to playing in the game. Not that I don't want to play the game every single day, but, you know, occasionally, if it's like, oh, we're going to be doing this week, it's like, all right, cool. Like, all right, you know, this day of this week, we're going to do whatever, mountain farming. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll join it. If not, it's not a big deal. Instead of it being like a scheduled thing they have to show up every single day, like, and it ends up starting to feel like work because it's just not, it doesn't become, you know, it becomes less and less fun. So, anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, it's something a struggle I've had with this game. I think it's probably mostly because I have played the game so much of the game by myself, solo. Like, I don't have any friends that play the game. Like outside, like, I don't have friends outside of the game who play the game. Like, you know, in real life. Like, I can't, like, people I know just don't care about this game. Well, not this game, but like don't care for MMOs. So it's like hard to get people to play it. And the friends I've made in the game, it's like, you know, part of my personal problem is like I kind of just, you know, in the past I would just kind of just disappear and, you know, shit like that. So it's like that was always something I had to, you know, I struggled with, is like me communicating and keeping up with friends and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, again, like I've said this multiple times though, like at the end of the expansion, it's always like this where, you know, sometimes you just need to take a break from the game. Especially if you've been playing for as long as I have, you know, like 9-10 years, however long it's actually been. Sometimes you just need to take a break, and which is fine, because like it's no reason you have to, you know, force yourself to play a game that may not be enjoying all the time. But it's like when I do want to come back to it, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna come back to it, and it's like, well, there's really not much going on, or I don't have anybody to do content with, so it's like, well, now what? You know, like, sure, I'm back, but there's like really not much going on, or I have no one to do to do content with. So it's a struggle. It's just a struggle. It's a personal problem, obviously. But I mean, regardless, I still love this game. You know, this game still has a huge place in my heart. You know, especially ever since it came out. Like, it's just one of those. This is like the game that, like, especially when it came out. And I played the beta, and got, you know, maybe I think I, like, you know, played the first year or so, or whatever it was. I like, you know, when I played it the first time and I stopped playing it because I wasn't sure if I liked the game. Like, I actually really there was a point where I think I hit. I think it was before the game officially came out. I think it was just like between the beta and then when the game came out. I wasn't really sure if I liked it. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna play this. And then I just had this weird itch. I'm like, I mean, I gotta play this game again. I gotta come back. And ever since then, like, I've been on and off. I've been playing this game. And it's hard for me to play other MMOs because this game has so much. I mean, the one thing is the controller support, just being because it's also a console, like it's on console, it's on PS4, PS5. Sorry, so that obviously that helps with the fact that, you know, the controller support is legitimate, like it's made for controllers and keyboard and mouse, you know. So it's not like it's a second thought of just like, oh, let's add controller support. Like, no, the game adds controller support. Everything else is like, the other thing is having all different, I can literally play whatever job I want on one character. I don't have to have multiple characters. There's no, even though the bag, like the inventory space isn't crazy, it's better than most MMOs that you would start off and have like limited space, and some of them you have to like either like buy with real money because microtransactions and all that bullshit. Like, it's like ESO, which has controller support and is on consoles, but it's like that game is just so microtransaction heavy. I can't do it. I can't play that game. It's just you open up the menu and it's like the real store, like the real money store pops up and it's just like in your face, and it's just like, I just don't, I mean, of course, this has cash shop, where you can buy mounts or glamour or job and story skips, but it's not in your face. Like, it's some things that are put on the store on the cash shop are, I think, are kind of stupid and should be in game, but it's like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and cry about it, because the thing is, as much as not the hugest fan of the cash shop, and I have spent money on the cash shop, I'm not gonna deny that. It's not in your face. Like, unless you're looking for it, it's not in your face. Like, there's no in-game, like, you can actually, they introduced it recently. You can actually, when you go to an inn, excuse me, when you go to an inn, you can actually, try on, clothing from the cash shop, but you have to like specifically look for it. Like, it's not in your face. Like, you have to kind of go out of your way to get to it, and that's fine. I don't even care that that's the case. That's in the game. I'm just glad it's not like, I'm not hitting like a button that's opening up the cash shop. I'm not hitting like, whatever button, and it's like, oh, you want this? Here, you got, you can buy it if you, with 1,000, crystals. If you, oh, you don't have 1,000 crystals? Well, here, you can buy you could buy 500 crystals for $5. It's like, so like, that's another thing. That's why I can't play other MMOs. The only one that really disappoints me, I think, and it's I kind of like, I still kind of like, I try to play it and it just bothers me. Like, every time I try to play it, it bothers me so much, is Guild Wars 2. How Guild Wars 2 was originally designed to have controller support, and they never completed it. They scrapped it. And the game is, you could tell the game was built to have, because the way it's just the game plays, action RPG MMO, or whatever you want to call it, very capable of having, being played on the controller. And it's like, the fact that they just never, went back, and it's, how many years has it been? They still haven't done it. It's like, I can't, every time I try to play the game, I'm like, man, I really wish this just had controller support. Because, like, for me, like, I have carpal tunnel, so like, trying to play mouse and keyboard isn't the greatest. Plus, I just prefer, being able to just kind of lounge and play a game. I don't like having to use mouse and keyboard. It really, and also depends on the game. It's like, I mean, I majority like controller for most games, but if it's like, specific game that uses a mouse and keyboard more, has more support within a controller, then whatever it is, what it is. But like when a game is supposed to be designed to have controller support and it's scrapped for whatever reason, and it would work just fine if it did, and it's just like annoying that, you know, going back to it, it's like, man, this would have been really enjoyable. I could just, you know, play how I wanted to play it. But there's also other stuff in the game. Like I don't know. I just, something about it. Like it's really, it's a good game. It's just something about it doesn't grab me. SWTOR is another game. Like a huge Star Wars fan, and I really like it, but it's just I feel like SWTOR is so dated now. Like it's just, I don't know. It's hard for me to play that game because I'm not really like, I guess it's really just another problem with Final Fantasy is, or because of Final Fantasy, it's just like how the, you know, how the combat works in this. Not like that not that this is the best MMO combat. I think this, you know, this has definitely has some issues. Like it can be, you know, I think there could be some big changes. But it's like the fact that like it has like a combo system like that where it's like, it, you know what to hit, and then you add your, you know, your additional buttons that you add in, versus just being like, oh, here's 20 buttons and some of them will kind of rock into other ones. Sometimes they won't, and you know, there is kind of like a rotation, but it doesn't really work, because if you want to like learn like, oh, what's the rotation for this class, it's like, well, this is the rotation at level whatever, say 80 for instance. Like I think SWTOR is 80. Here's the rotation for level 80. Like, well, I'm level, you know, 50. I don't have half of the skills that you're, you know, supposed to have. So how am I supposed to know, you know, what's the rotation for this? And not like it matters, because it's like you don't really need another. Like the shit dies very fast in the story mode for that. Like there's not like you're not really like hurting to know. But that's like for me though, I want to know the rotation, the proper rotation, and not being able to do it because I'm missing skills versus what I should have. Like in this, even though like lower, when you're lower level, like you get like, you know, you get level 1, level 2, you get these two, and then you don't get this 26, which I think is definitely one of the things that needs to be changed. The fact that you don't get your final hit in your 3-button combo until what, 24 levels after this is, I think, is very stupid. And a lot of jobs like this, you get your AoE, and then you get your combo at 6, and then you get your combo of your AoE at 40. Like 34 levels later, I get my second half of it. I mean, it's not like it's a complex thing. It's, you know, it's just the fact that's like, why is it so split? Like what's the purpose of that? There's, you know, there's no reason for it to be so far away. Like I think a lot of these, like one of my biggest complaints about like 14's early game is how boring the combat is, because it's just until you hit level 26, and there's not like much, you're not doing much, and it's not like you don't really need it, but like you're doing dungeons at what is your first dungeon you do? 15, I think. Where is it? Let's see. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for your 4 dungeons, right? Is it 20? Sorry, you have 5 dungeons. you have 5 dungeons where you have 2 buttons. You have 2 buttons you can use. Well, 3 if you want to count your AoE. It's like, imagine pushing, and you don't get, like, for Dark Knight, again, it's not like it's that much more complex having a second button in your AoE combo. But you don't get to what was that, like 40 something? Like, just imagine pushing 1 button for, like, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, say 10 dungeons, you're pushing 1 button 90% of the time. And then you have what, how many buttons do you have? Let's see, you have 2 buttons for 5 dungeons, and you get a 3rd button. You get Flood at 30, so you don't even have that until 30. What is this? Is that 40? Which you don't get your Blood Spiller until 62, which is a big thing in your kit. Like, it's just like you have 3 buttons until level what did I say it was? And this is off global. This is yeah, off global go down. So this is just, you know, you don't even use this every so often at 30. So you have 4 buttons. Like, this is the same thing. You don't, like, this is your single target. This is your AoE. I don't know why you get AoE before you get single target. Like, again, it's not crazy, because you have, like, your full kit. You have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 active buttons. You know, this is basically a dot. This is a dot. You know, this is AoE. Yeah, so you basically, you have, your whole thing is really 8 buttons, but you're hitting them, you know, pretty, you know, a decent amount of times. Like, it's not like you're hitting, you know, it gets faster as you go level up. So it doesn't feel like you're only hitting 8 buttons, especially when you're doing your 2 minutes and you have to hit like 14 buttons, and it's just like, why? But granted, it's just, they need to, who knows if they'll fix this or if they'll change this. Probably not. Doubt it. But just like the fact that it doesn't look like it's a lot of buttons, it ends up being a lot more, especially when you're doing high-end content and you have to, you know, you're doing certain mechanics that require you to, you know, pay attention and solve puzzles while you're doing it. So it's like, it definitely does get more complex, but like, and again, when you're leveling, it's not that big of a deal. But for somebody who wants to learn how to play their job while they're leveling, it's like, cool, I get to learn how to just hit 2 buttons for 26 levels, 25 levels. And then at 26, I get to hit 3 whole buttons. And then at 30, I hit 1 extra button every 4 buttons, basically, until, you know, you don't want to, you don't spam it. But it's just like, you know, it's nothing, again, it's nothing crazy. It's, you know, low level shit. You don't need to have, so make sure, like OBS is saying I'm dropping frames, but it'll look like its stream is fine. I don't know. It's just like, let's look at Paladin is pretty bad too. I mean, you don't get your third combo until 60. Like, well, no, I'm sorry. 26, that's right. It's the same thing as Dark Knight. That's the upgraded version of it. Which doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change anything. It just, you just push the same button. It's just different animation. And it gives you, like, you know, additional stuff. Nothing changes, really. But again, same thing. You don't even get, so say Dark Knight, again, you know, you hit level 4 very fast. You're hitting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 for 25 levels. You don't even use this. This is just a waste of space. You don't get this till 54. You don't get this till 76. You don't get this till 64. You don't get this till 50. You don't get Spirits Within till 30, which is also an off GCD, so it doesn't matter. You don't get your Blade combo till 90. You don't get Confiteor till 80. Which is this. Like, and then again, like the AoE combo. Again, it's not complex. Dungeons aren't hard. Dungeons aren't complex. I understand. It's just it's more of just the principle of just being like, wow, I'm so happy I get to push one button for 34 levels when I'm doing dungeons or any sort of content, and you're pushing basically two buttons, and eventually you get to hit 3 buttons. And you know, I think it's just for the again, like I said, it doesn't matter because it's you know, leveling, like when you're leveling through when you go through the story, the content really doesn't matter. But for somebody who wants to actually learn how to play their job, one, the game doesn't teach you how to play your job properly, and two, you're not going to be able to know how to play your job until you get all your whole kit. But it really does matter, and unless you actually give a shit and want to learn how to do that, chances are someone who's just, you know, who's just pushing, you know, whatever button they can, playing throughout the store, like leveling up, and they try to do, you know, more end game content. They don't really know what they're doing. They're just pushing buttons. Because again, the game doesn't teach you how to play the game. It doesn't teach you how your job works. So that's another, like, that's something I would really, really like to see in you know, in Dawn Trail. It's like something that will teach you. I mean, there's the novice, the Hall of the Novice, which teaches you the basics of your role. Like when you're tanking, it's like, this is what you know, you need to have aggro on all the targets, so you take all the hits. You need to, you know, get out of AoEs and this and that. Like the very bare minimum what you need to know. And again, the Hall of Novice is not forced. It's optional, which again, I think it should be forced. I think it should make people do it. I think they should have a more advanced version later on. You're like, okay, here's the here is like a training for your specific job. Like, this is how the rotation works. This is how your specific job works. You know, instead of going to, you know, using outsources and like finding out how to do it from other people, which is fine, which is good that people do that, which was, you know, the fact that we have the, you know, guides and how to properly, you know, play your job, especially in high-end content. But it'd be nice if it just like kind of showed you how to do it properly, and if the, you know, if playing the game was more enjoyable from 1 to current to highest level, which is 90 right now. Like, imagine starting the game and currently 90 is the level cap, and you know, for, I don't know how long it takes to get to like, it doesn't take very long because the XP they give you is insane. But like, you're just, imagine doing, you know, the first 5 dungeons and all you're hitting is 2 buttons. And it's like, you know, sure, for someone who's new, that's getting them into it. But if you are somebody who has done that, who's at 90, and you go into, you queue in and say, you're doing a leveling roulette, and you get queued up into a level 15 dungeon, you get to push 2 buttons as well. Instead of just giving you the ability to just have your whole kit and just nerf it down to that level. It's like they basically just, I don't know. I kind of, that's another thing I kind of wish is like, I wish if you have a character, excuse me, if you have a job that was at, you know, was max level, and you were synced down to do a early level dungeon, I think you should have the ability to use your full kit. Just nerf the damage. Just make it do, you know, equal to what you would do. I don't really understand why they didn't do that. Like that way you're not like, you know, stuck hitting 1 to 2 buttons. And again, like I said, dungeons they're not difficult. They're very, very casual. Nothing in this game outside of, you know, going into extremes up to ultimate really pushes you to the limit. Like everything under everything prior to extreme for like a new person, someone who doesn't know what they're doing, is, you know, may seem a little overwhelming at first, but it's very much not. Like there's nothing to worry about. Dungeons are extremely boring. There's no challenge. So it's kind of like the other, I guess, like the counter argument of like, why does the game need to teach you how to play when there's nothing like, you know, challenge you in the first place. Like there's no reason for you to have to worry about it unless you were looking for harder content to do. So I don't know. Like I can see the argument for and against it, and it's just like there's just things I would like to see. Going forward in, you know, the next expansion to make it more enjoyable. There's also, it's like, how do you sell this game to somebody? And it's like, well, sure, the story is extremely good, but it's a lot of reading. Outside of the, you know, the early, like the ARR that has a lot of reading outside of the voice cutscenes, which is not a lot. And the combat when you're doing like dungeons and stuff is very slow. Like you're hitting like 4 buttons maximum for majority of your leveling experience. And that could be a problem for people. Like some people who you know, some people who don't care about the story will skip and just go to endgame. Some people who enjoy the story and don't give a shit about, you know, anything else, you know, that doesn't bother them. But the people in between, where like you have people who like, I really like story and want, you know, interesting, you know, combat. It's not really there. Like it's not really like for a while. Like until, I don't know. I'd argue The game probably doesn't start getting really fun until 60. When you have half of your kit. This is melee. Yeah, like 60 when if you have half of your kit is when the game gets fun. At 50, what do you have at 50? At 50 you have 1, 2, 3. 4. This is specifically Dark Knight I'm talking about. Yeah. At 50, for Dark Knight specifically, you have 4 abilities. At 60, you get 5, 6, well, this is 62, which is, 60, so 62. When you even get the 62 though, I'm saying, that's what I mean, like, 60 plus is when it starts getting enjoyable. Then you start getting buttons to press, you start getting more stuff to learn. This is just an upgrade. You get this at 40. This is an upgrade. You get this at 30. You get your blood spiller at 62, which is one of your most important buttons. At 68, you get Delirium, which gives you the ability to hit 3 of these. And it's hot, more and more advanced, and that's what I enjoy. Like the fact that the game starts getting more enjoyable at 60 plus, and that's Stormblood. Like that's all the way up this. Like that's Stormblood. Stormblood is 60 plus. Like you go through all of Heavensward all through Stormblood, and once you hit 70, which is max, like say you're playing the free trial, you hit 70, you have more than half of your kit. You're missing what? You're missing an upgraded version of your AoE and your single target. You're missing this, which you shouldn't. This should be way earlier. I'm not even going to talk about that because that just pisses me off. Living Shadow, which is really just a dot. So it's not like that's more of a timing thing. This is just an extra mitigation, and then this is another hard hitting attack. So let's see. What do you get? You get 1. Really? Not even counting this, because it's not really. This is more of a passive than anything, because you're not actually doing. You're just pushing this when you have the gauge to do it, and it's off cooldown. Like that's all you're doing. You're not actually like, this is just a passive basically. You don't get like. And these don't really matter. These are just upgraded versions. Like you're not losing anything. It's just more damage and a different animation. The only thing, especially for specifically Dark Knight actually, is like you get 1 more ability at 90. So like you're not really missing anything out. When you hit 70, you're not missing much. Which is nice. Because it's like 70 to 90 is it's a lot of levels. It takes a while because, it's a lot of story you get to go through. And sure, you with the experience you get, you definitely can hit 90 before you finish the game. I think you can hit 90 before you finish Shadowbringers. But the content you're doing is going to lock you out regardless. So like, Shadowbringer starts at 70. So like, even if you were to start Shadowbringers, you're not missing anything until you get the until you get the Endwalker and you get this ability for Dark Knight. Like at this, like at 80, when you hit Shadowbringers, end of Shadowbringers, or start of, or this one we call it the start of Endwalker, the end of Endwalker right here. Like you're not missing much versus it being like 1 to 50. You have 1, 2, 3 single target. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, and then you have your off global. 4 AoE. You have 1, 2. That's it. You have 2 at 50. You know. So it's like there's not a lot. It's not like it couldn't just give you stuff early on, because it's not like it's not even that much that you're like they can literally just give you everything as early as possible, just so you can understand what your job is, because it doesn't make a difference how many buttons you have when you start to, you know, when you between 70 and 90, there's not much of a difference. Well, it's like, why not just give you more shit to do at early levels, you know? Hey, well, I'm just ranting as usual. I'm just ranting about stuff I just always bother me about this game. As we listen to Zelda's Lullaby, apparently. One thing I'll never get tired of though, is like, even though this game is 10 years old and it doesn't look great, this to me looks like this is pretty beautiful looking for a 10-year-old game that has had zero graphical upgrades, and we are getting a graphical upgrade in Endwalker, excuse me, in Deltarune. Wow, in Dawn Trail. But like, you know, and then granted, I am using a reshade to make it look a little bit nicer. Like if I what is the button? The Alt? Where's the Control? That's NVIDIA. I forgot what is it? Shift? I don't know. There's the way you turn it off. I don't know how to do it. Maybe it isn't on. I don't even know if my reshade is even working, honestly. But there are moments in this game where it can look really pretty, and there's moments of this game that look really ugly. You know, so that's a nice. One thing I always loved about this is like, there are areas you can go to and it just looks really, really nice. Graphics aren't always aren't everything, you know. I mean, look at, like, I play fucking Super Nintendo. Graphics are good to an extent. Like, a game looking pretty is only gonna help it so much. Like, if you don't have a game that's enjoyable to play, whether it looks good or not, it's not gonna really do much. And that's another thing I'm really worried about coming Dawn Trail is, I like how they just cut the song off. One thing that really worries me is the fact that they're putting so much effort into the graphical update for Dawn Trail. Has me worried that, like, did it like stop? I think YouTube is like, oh, are you still listening? Yeah. Why? Why is this 10 hours of Zelda's Lullaby? Alright, we're gonna skip that. Good thing I checked. Next song, please. 10 hours of Zelda's. Why is it? What are the next? Oh, hold on. I don't know what's happening. Is there a button being held down? Why is it doing that? It's like opening up another tab instead of just playing the next thing in the playlist. If I open this, is it gonna just start the playlist? No, of course it's not. All right, let me find a different playlist. That's not gonna be 10 hours of Zelda's Lullaby. As much as I like Zelda's Lullaby, I don't want to listen to it for 10 hours. You know what, actually? Let's put on... this. What a fantastic series with a fantastic OST. Listen to that. Yeah, so one of my biggest worries is with all the work they're putting into the graphical update, which, you know, I'm excited to see more of that, is the excuse that they might use to be like, well, we spent a lot of effort and time and manpower to try and update the graphics. We weren't able to really do much of anything else. So here's the same thing again for this expansion. It's like, that's not good enough. You know, when you think about like, you're a multi-million-dollar company and this game is literally keeping Square Enix. This game is Final Fantasy XIV are keeping Square Enix alive. I feel like hearing any sort of excuse of we don't have maybe the budget or the manpower. Again, I don't know how things are. Maybe they don't. Maybe there is something that they can't control. But it's like, to me, that just sounds like some straight up bullshit when you're kind of like a multi-million-dollar company. Who can, I feel like you just hire, or you, like, they have the money and they have the, you know, like, if they need to hire more people to do more stuff, then they should hire more people to do more stuff. Again, I don't know how everything works at the company. I don't know if that's as easy as it sounds. You know, I'm ignorant to that stuff because I don't work there. But that's one thing I'm really, really worried about. It's just like them being like, well, we did spend a lot of manpower on trying to get the game to look really pretty for the next expansion. We weren't really able to work on much of anything else. So, you know, don't expect a lot of new content, which is going to be like, man, I hope that's not the case. Like, I'm hoping I'm really, really wrong. Because, like, ever since they announced, like, how big this graphical update project is, the back of my mind, I'm like, wow, them, like, how, like, in the forefront of my mind, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like, this game's gonna look great. You know, it's 10 years old. I think it looks, you know, at times it can look really, really pretty. And if with a little bit of, you know, reshading done, you can make it look really good. For, you know, for being a 10-year-old game with no graphical updates to it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, well, what happens when they come out and say we couldn't do X, Y, and Z because we spent too much time on this? You know, like, I don't want to, I don't want that to happen. I really don't, because like I said, I love this game very much. I can't believe how fucking loud. think how loud this. Like I have my volume on to 1 for this for YouTube, and it's still very loud for me. It's not loud. It doesn't look as like it's really loud for you guys, but it's just to me, it's like I feel like I'm still fighting to hear myself, just to listen to the music. But yeah, I mean, this is something I always like to. I always want to talk about because, like, again, I love this game very much, and I only want to see it be better and better each expansion that comes out. I want more and more good things to come out of it. And when there's stuff that's removed so they can add different things, I don't think it's okay to do that and be like, well, this is why we removed this so we can add that. And it's like, well, why are you removing anything in the first place? You shouldn't need to remove things, especially when they worked, especially when they were popular and people enjoyed doing the said thing. Why would you remove that to add something else that which I have no issue. I want them adding new stuff. I want them to add new stuff. I want them to be more what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Open to try new things. I want them to be experimental. Like, I want them to add something, and if it fails, it fails. Learn from that failure. Find out, can you make it better, or should you just remove it? It happens. If something, we had that happen before. We've had something that was extremely ambitious and failed horribly, and you know what? They learned from it and they made a better version of it twice, and then they took it away. And it's just like, why though? Like, what is the reasoning for that? Why take things away when they were working just fine? Like, why would you? Like, why remove? Don't. Like, what's the phrase? Don't fix what isn't broken, or don't change what it doesn't need to be changed. Like, or remove things. Like, don't remove a piece of a puzzle if it's already completed. Like, taking content away to add new content is, in my opinion, very stupid. And there's no reason for them to remove content to add new content. They should leave that content and add new. Like, I don't know what the reasoning is. Again, I don't know if his situation with money somehow, or manpower, or whatever it is. I don't know what the reasoning is for it. And maybe because they wanted to put more focus, they want people to focus more on this new thing. But a lot of people forget that Endwalker was developed during COVID era of gaming. They couldn't really experiment with anything, just played safe. JP's a country that took COVID more seriously. No, and I understand that. Well, that's definitely not what I'm not trying to say that they're using that as an excuse to not have new things. But here's the thing: they did add new things, like Island Sanctuary, which in my opinion is a major flop, and Variant Criterion, which is, they're good. They need more polish. But why remove? You have for the last 2 expansions, you had an exploration zone. Why remove that exploration zone to then add two brand new things to the game when you could have had all of that together? You know, like Dawntrail is slated to have the most content of any X pack. It's gonna have everything Endwalker had plus another exploratory zone like Baja Rica, another lifestyle content. And you know what? I hope that's true. I hope they keep to their word on that. I hope that is the case, and I hope that's true. I hope they just add more. I hope they bring back what they had and add more, because it's like taking away content to me is content that worked, content that people are doing now because there's nothing to do. Is just, I don't understand the why they do that. So out of the 10 plus years, they never cut anything they said they were adding. No, they never cut anything out, but removing stuff or not adding stuff is weird to me. Like, why not have an exploration zone? Like, I mean, I don't know if it's because of COVID they didn't have the time to maybe work on an exploration zone. But I mean, they also have Eureka and Baja already. Like, they could easily make, you know, not even if they didn't add new zones, they could have easily just been like, hey, you know these two zones that we have? Well, here's a reason to go back to it. Here's some new stuff that we're gonna throw into these old zones, just so you have something to do. That maybe we're not gonna be able to add new exploration zones, but here's new things that you can do if you want. You know, like something like that at the very least. Again, I don't know what the, you know, if that wasn't possibility because of COVID and because how Japan handled things, you know. And like, I don't, for me, I think it's amazing that the community makes content for themselves and starts groups to do old content. I think that's amazing, but I don't think that should be the case though. I think that should be a plus. That should be an addition to playing an MMO. I don't think the community should be the ones making the extra, like the content to do things when there's nothing going on. Like, so I don't know. And this is not just an Endwalker situation. This is you know, every expansion had like it's just the same old every expansion. Like, and again, I understand they can't pump out content all the time. You know, they can't like, you know, feed everybody what they want. That's understandable as well. But I don't know. They just, I think like they needed this expansion. They needed something to keep people coming back for more when there's downtime. Like, even if they just added some new stuff to the old exploration zone. Here's some mounts you can find now. Here we're gonna add these mounts to Baja or whatever, or to both the Baja and Eureka. Like, here, go back and do those if you haven't done them already. Well, or if you have done them, here's an incentive to go back and do more. Here's some more stuff to add. You know, like, I don't know. Just instead of it being like the community going out of their way to add to make a, you know, a reason to do stuff, which is, again, I think that's amazing. You know, but I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not a game designer. You know, I'm not a director of a producer of a video game. I'm not a, you know, I'm not even, you know, in Japan. So I don't know how things work there. All this, you know, like I'm not in that culture, so I don't know how things work. So I can only speak for myself. I don't know how things are. That being said, though, I was watching Arthur's streaming earlier today, and they were eating with his raid lead from JP, and even his raid lead said, like, JP has been really disappointed with this expansion. From what I've read, majority of JP players just like the Baja stuff and story. I think I think JP preferred Eureka because I think a lot of JP players prefer the 11 style, which again, as another, like what I was saying, just add new stuff to Eureka then, you know, to both. Here's some more mounts to go farm if you have everything already, or like here's new challenges you could do, here's new achievements just to do, just something, you know, just something to get people to go back and give them the incentive for people who've done stuff to go back, and then it gives it new players more incentives to do stuff. I mean new players already have a lot, you know, especially if you're doing if you're a free trial player. I think Eureka's part of that, right? You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Eureka is part of the free trial. I know Ultimates are not, which, you know, I understand why they aren't, but I also don't 100% agree with that. But I'm pretty sure Eureka is available for, if it's not, then I think that's a huge miss. And sure, you could be like, well, it's you know, it's them trying to get you to, you know, this is their incentive to make you buy the game. But it's like, sure, but there's still tons of content outside of that. Like, you still have Endwalker and Shadowbringers. That's, you know, like, no one's gonna play through a free trial person is not going to play through all Stormblood and do Eureka and be like, well, that's it. I got my enjoyment out of it. And if they do, that's fine. Whatever. That's good. You know, that's good for them that they got their enjoyment out of just doing that. It's what they wanted. Fine. But I feel like 90% of the people aren't going to be like, you know, if they have your access to Eureka. I don't know. I haven't looked into the free trial stuff. But if they have access to Eureka, they're not going to do Eureka and be like, well, I got the entire experience of the game out of that. Like, no, there's so much more that they would have to buy the game to do. But giving them the option to do Eureka, if they don't, they really should, because that's just another big thing to get people to try the game out. Here is something that the game had when you played it during Stormblood that was very heavy on the community coming together and just running around and having a good time and killing bosses in an open world area. I mean, sure, it was really grindy when it came out, and it wasn't the greatest when it came to like the balancing, but I'll tell you what, when Animals first came out, that was the most fun I've ever had in this game. Things they don't need to add anything new for new players. They have too much. No, not for, yeah, right. They need to add more mid-core shit. Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. Like, if they didn't have the ability, and it's not for new players, it's more for just people to give people, like me, for instance. I'm definitely more mid-core than I am anything else. I do Savage, and Savage you could argue is mid-core at this point. It really depends on, you know, how much you play the game, like how far you go. Like, if you're an Ultimate Raider, you're an Ultimate Raider. To me, I think Savage is a mix between, like, it's like Savage is like to me Savage is the first two fights are mid-core and then the second two fights are hardcore, or you could tell, like, it's kind of like it's a mixture of mid-core and hardcore in Savage, and then your ultimate is your hardcore. And it really depends on how you tackle it. Savage is 100% mid-core. If Party Farmer can clear Savage week 1, it's definitely not hardcore. But that's still debatable, though, because, like, Savage could be hardcore to other people. Like, someone who, you know, isn't used to doing that, that's hardcore to them. But people like us who've done it multiple times, you know, it starts to get mid-core because it's more of a, I mean, yeah, the fights have gotten easier. And you could say that, especially this expansion where it's like, there was very little downtime in most fights. And you can say that this expansion, Savage, has been more mid-core. I would say, honestly, I would argue, forgot the name of it. The first 4 fights of Savage, I think, were not mid-core. Especially like when they came out, like when they were current. And then obviously, you know, Asphodelos, or sorry, Abyssos, P8, that's a different story. That was just, we're not going to talk about that. But like P7, that's not a real fight. P6 sucks. P5, I would say is maybe like, P5 is mid-core, and then I would say P8 is hardcore in a sense of Savage. But I would say 6 and 7 are easier than 5. But I would say Asphodelos, I think is like, I think 3 and 4 in Asphodelos are hardcore in terms of Savage. Like, sure, people can clear it week 1, but I think just the way that the fights were done, Asphodelos was on. I think Asphodelos is still my favorite tier. You think Asphodelos is the easiest? I don't know. I think this expansion, or I think Abyssos was the easiest, minus P8. I think Asphodelos was harder. Like, all right, so you could say P1 wasn't that intense. P2, I think, was just more interesting than hard. P3 had some difficulty, and P4 was very puzzly. P4 is way easier than P8. You can have tons of deaths and still clear. P8 has literally every mechanic. I guess. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I mean, how long ago was that? Was what, 2 years ago when that came out? So maybe I'm just like forgetting how easy it actually was. Granted, when I came back to doing Savage, I was in some really bad groups. So like my interpretation of how Savage is seen is a little is kind of shitty, because I've gotten like, I mean, I was stuck on P2 and P7, P2 and P7 I was stuck on P2 for like, I think 3 weeks, because PF couldn't clear. Like, I was on Enrage. I saw P2 Enrage. I think either the end of week 1 or sometime in week 2, but I couldn't get a clear because I wasn't in a group for Asphodelos until the end of it. And Party Finder, like, I got kind of screwed on that. And then P7 was another situation where I got stuck in P7 Enrage for weeks, and I saw Enrage the first week, and I couldn't get a clear for weeks on end. I should say Asphodelos was so easy that nobody noticed just how bad the job balancing was, and P4 had the same check difficulty as P8. You literally wouldn't have been able to clear with any other melee, but Monk and Reaper and Summoner and Mage were even worse. Yeah, that's fair. I can see what you mean by that. Again, no, granted, I don't know what they can do to make, like, I think if they're going to be going the way they've been going with Savage, making it easier, I still think they need to have, I think actually, you know what? I think Criterion is the right step to kind of give people that that middle ground between Savage and Ultimate, but also Criterion Savage needs some work. It needs, like, I was thinking about, like, I haven't done Criterion Savage. I haven't even done Criterion, but like, I think Criterion, from what I've gathered, for the most part, is fine. I think people enjoy Criterion. I think it's obviously just the rewards are shit. But Savage is literally the same thing. It's just harder, and you have one revive. So why though? Like, why not? I don't understand. Thing is, Criterion is the furthest content from midcore they could have added. You need the Savage gear to do normal mode. Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Criterion is good. Like, Criterion is what they needed to have for the bridge the gap between Savage and Ultimate. But they need something to bridge the gap between Extreme and Savage, I think. And if they're doing that by making Savage a little bit easier, like if they do, if Extreme to Savage is, if the bridge is closed a bit, the gap is closed a little bit between Extreme and Savage, and then you throw in Criterion now between Savage and Extreme and Ultimate, I think that's how it should be. I think it should be Extreme into Savage, and then Savage into Criterion Savage, or Criterion Savage, however you want to look at it, and then Ultimate. So, like, I think I think that's what they're kind of going for, and that's the right idea. It's just they need to. Criterion needs to be done better. Criterion should be a gearing option. It shouldn't be another difficulty thing, top or DSR, where some of the hardest fights. Yeah, no, I agree with that too. I think. Well, you know what? In that case. I really like the song. I think Criterion Normal should. I think Criterion Normal should give you Savage equivalent gear. And then Criterion Savage should be the reason why you're gearing up. Like, you should, Criterion Normal should give you, you should have the ability to do Criterion Savage, whether you did Savage or Criterion. Like, that should be the reason why you do Criterion Savage. So, like, did you do the Savage when it came out? No. Okay, well, here's Criterion. You can do that to get gear as well, or you could do both and get gear of that, and then you can go into Savage, Criterion Savage, and then Criterion Savage is like you're training to do Ultimate, because it's like, you know, it's like this is how Criterion this is how Ultimate's going to be. It's going to be a long endurance fight, and you need to not fuck up. But here's, you know, it's kind of like a training, and then when you go into an Ultimate, it's like, okay, now you're in the real thing. This is what you've been training for. Criterion Savage shouldn't exist. It should just be Criterion with Savage and Tome upgrade items. Pretty much everyone has their same thing. Okay, no, you know what? I can see that. I agree with that as well. And you know what? Here's the thing I was going to say earlier. What I think they should do, if they drop Savage, Criterion Savage, and just do Criterion, and give it has a gearing option, whether it's upgrade materials or a separate gearing system, a separate gearing option, whatever it is, whatever they decide to do. What they should do though is not only is give Criterion a reason to do it, like with gearing, like giving you gearing. I think, which I don't understand. I don't know what the reasoning is, why they didn't do it. But I think Criterion should just be harder variant. Like, why wouldn't they just do like, hey, Criterion is just variant, but harder. Like, give you all the options that you have in variant, where you have 3 paths that has 12 outcomes. It's like, think about that. That could be 12 different, unique things you can do. And they don't have to have separate reward. They can have the same thing, but it's like, imagine the variety you would have. You had the ability to do like, hey, I don't feel like doing Savage because I don't want to find 7 other people to do it. But I have 3 friends and I want to do Criterion Savage or Criterion, right? And here's the thing. Criterion now has 3 doors you can enter. And those 3 doors that you go through have different branching paths. But here's the thing is, in variant, you fight the same 2 bosses depending on what path you take. So it's not like that's a big thing. They don't do much of that. Because if you literally fight the same first boss every path you take. The only difference is the final boss. And then what they could really do, and I was thinking this also, is if they want to have a Criterion Savage, guess what? Make Criterion Savage be the secret boss of variant. And that's just what it is. It's just an instance fight with the secret boss. And the only way you can do that is if you do all if you do all 12 paths of Criterion, you get access to it. Whatever the reward is for that, maybe just a mount, whatever, and maybe it's like a fancy looking weapon. But it's like that would be like the optional, like, here is the Criterion Savage. It's just the secret boss that you get to fight. It has nothing to do with Criterion though. Like, that would, to me, that's more interesting. Because one, you have more variety with Criterion as far as like the paths you can take. You have a secondary gearing option if you don't want to do Savage with 7 other people and you want to do like a 4-man party Savage-esque type of content. It has variety, and if you want, you have the option to unlock a secret boss who's just a boss fight. It's a separate thing that you unlock. It's like unlocking an ultimate when you clear the Savage tier. Like, I think that would be really cool. And it would give people an incentive. It's like, well, what's the incentive for wanting to fight this, for doing all 12 routes in Criterion? Well, you get an extra boss. That's whether you do that one time or not, and whether it has, a unique reward for killing the secret boss. That's here or there. But like just having the incentive to do like, hey, if you do all 12 Criterion runs, you get a secret boss fight. That's pretty cool. I mean, if you ask me, like that's like that's a kind of a pretty big incentive by itself. And then you can add something else to like as a reward to make it more of an exciting incitement to do it. But it's like what you're saying with like having a gearing option. You're giving people the ability to gear up, whether it's in an 8-man content or a 4-man content. But it's the same difficulty. And there's different... It's all unique, I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm not a game developer. I'm not a producer. I don't know how things work. And again, I'm not, trying to speak for the masses, but like, to me, like, in my opinion, and I don't even do that. That would make me want to do it more, in my opinion. Like, I want to do something like that. And then also being able to, like, just think about watching people doing Criterion, and everyone's doing a different outcome for the first run. Like, some people are going to take the left path. Some people might take the middle path or the right path. And then there's, puzzles in between that can, change the outcome of that. So it's like, from my point of view, I don't really care about Criterion. I just want the raids to be fun again. Abyssos and Anabasis and the Basios, or however I pronounce it, were trash. Only P10, P5, P4, and P2 were fun in the 6-pack. The Ultimates were really carried in the expansion in terms of raid content. Yeah. I agree with those 4 fights as well. P3 was kind of fun. I don't hate P3. In a group content, P3 was fun. In Party Finder group, P3 was not fun. But P2, I think P2 was my favorite fight of the expansion over those 4. If I had to pick between those 4, just because P2 used the entire arena in a very unique way. Oh, you're talking about like doing what? Phoenix? Do you mean Phoenix by doing? Meaning you done P3 a bunch? Because I don't know what you compare it to. P11 was, yeah, pretty boring. It is. It's literally just Fatebreaker. It's Fatebreaker 2 with different colors, and you can't fall off the platform. Yeah. No, I think nothing in P3 is unique. No, you're right. Again, I don't think it's amazing. I don't hate it though. Like, people hate it. I don't hate the fight. But P2, I think P2 is my favorite, and it's not hard, but it was just the fact that how unique the fight was. No positionals. You know, you had parts where the whole party had to stack together. You had moments where the people had to spread and do like the limit cut and shit like that, and the whole arena was used throughout the entire fight. It had unique elements to the arena versus it being like, you could say P10 was kind of like that. P3 is literally A3S, T12, Phoenix, and A11S just mashed into one fight. Yeah, I could see that now. I figured that's what you meant. A3 though, A3. Like T12 Phoenix, T12 Phoenix, and P3 Phoenix, yes. And A11. Yeah, I can see A11 too with what's his face, but I don't remember A3. Isn't A3 Pepsi Man? I don't really see A3 in that fight, but I can definitely see Phoenix, and I can see what's his face as well from A12, A11. I like P4. I think P4. I like P4. I think P4 was really cool fight. And you can also say like P10 used the whole arena, but P10 was also, I think P10 was, the reason why P10 was good is because it pushed the limits of what Savage should be, and it made Savage difficult. Granted, I don't think it should have been the second fight of the tier. I think P10 should have been the third fight of the tier. But P10 definitely pushed the limits of how hard a Savage fight should be, especially for a second fight of the tier. P10 is the hardest second turn they've ever made. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. But it's like, it shouldn't have been a second fight. It should have been at least a third fight. And then granted, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter, because who cares when it happens? But if they made all the fights as, you know, maybe not as difficult, maybe just slightly less difficult than P10 for all 4 fights, I think that's what Savage should be, though. I think Savage should be that. Because that really just, like, it makes people have to really know their job both mechanically, like, you know, like damage wise, like DPS wise, and like how to properly play their role, because everybody is used in that. I'm gonna queue up for an alliance. The thing is, though, Lala, I don't think they're going to make the game harder, though. I think the thing is, we have to cope. We have to stop coping that the game's going to get harder, and start realizing the game is going to get easier for the people for the new for the more casual player base. Like, they're just going to make it, you know, the hell was that? They're going to make it slightly easier every time, every expansion. And whether they make ultimates harder, I don't know. Like, there doesn't seem to be like a balance. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they're not balancing the game properly. Yes, I'm still listening. Savage has consistently gotten easier outside of P8. P8 Phase 2 definitely was like an ultimate level of, like, not difficult, but mechanic wise. Like, if one person fucks up, the whole party dies. P8's issue was a cause. P8's issue was cause of tuning issue. So they never had. Yeah. But I wouldn't say it was mechanically hard, or it was mechanic. Not, it was mechanically demanding for a savage. But I think that's cool, because it wasn't like outside of the balance issue. Like, if you go back and do P8 now, it's not, obviously it's nowhere near as bad as it was. Well, I just mean, like, as far as like mechanical, I mean like how it's like you have to do your role perfectly, or you wipe the whole party type of situation. You know, like, versus it being like, if somebody, like, I don't know. Granted, I really don't know how much of it, how much has changed. With the fight since you know, past, you know, it's an old fight now. Oh, see ya. And also, I didn't do E8S. I didn't do Savage that fight. That expansion. That's the reason I hated this expansion. Expansion raids so much. There were too many 8-man body checks. No, and I understand that sentiment too. Like, I actually don't like, outside of P10, I think being a very cool fight, I don't care for bonds. I think bonds in a savage what's the word I'm looking for? context, I think, is too much. I think asking for body checks in especially in a second tier fight, sorry, second fight of a tier is way too much to ask for. EDS was literally called a mini ultimate because it had 2 ultimate level mechanics. Grand Isolate and Dragon Song was much easier. Yeah, like I didn't do P8. I didn't come back to Savage until P9, so I have no input on that. I'm sure you're not wrong as far as like the census of it being like it feeling like a miniature ultimate in that regards. Oh my god, we just fucking murdered him. But yeah, I still think as P10 was a good fight. I think everything outside of Bonds was good about P8. Excuse me, P10. Bonds I think was just asking for too much. Like it's just with the netcode, with this game's netcode and how strict the body checks were. It just did not feel like there was more than enough times where it was like the game wouldn't register you if you were like a frame off of the party, which I think was ridiculous sometimes. And that would immediately just kill the entire, you know, whatever party it was. Everything else, though, I think Harrowing Hell was a really cool mechanic. I like the fact that like it pushed the limits of like people needing to like properly mitigate. But then like P11 was very Resident Sleeper, and I didn't do P12. I didn't even finish because I got stuck on P11 in Rage, and I just kind of got tired of Party Finder, and I gave up. But yeah, so I don't really know how people feel about 12. I don't know if people like 12 or not. Better than me. Well, I mean, the problem is like I joined a group, and this is I was talking about this earlier. Like I joined groups that I think have more promise than they show, and the group I was in was stuck on P9 9 for way too long. And I kind of got frustrated about it, and I ended up leaving. And by the time I ended up leaving, it was too late. Like, I was already so late into the tier that I got screwed over by Party Finder trying to finish the tier. I haven't even done this raid. Hold on. I'm really bad at multitasking. I haven't even done this raid tier. The gear is trash, the mount is trash. I literally just resorted to getting my top and DSR weapons so I can have every ulti weapon going 7.0. You know, that's fine though. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to do every single Savage tier. Like, no one's saying, like, especially like, you know, no one's judging if you don't do Savage. Savage is like whatever. Like, never, because like at this point everybody can do Savage, you know. So who cares if you do Savage or not? Because so can the next guy. You know, like nobody's impressed by, you know, not you specifically, but like so and so clearing Savage at this point. You know, like I can see that for ultimates, like especially if you clear top. Like, yeah, that's super impressive that you clear top. Whether you cleared it early or later, in, you know, it doesn't matter. Top is still the hardest fight in the game. Like, I didn't even do top. I left the group I was going to do top with because I was so intimidated by the top. I didn't want to even go into it. No! Oh, god damn it. I just wasted my delirium.
Come, mortal. Enter my realm.
She said the thing. If I miss one with Savage tier, it's whatever. I cleared DSR and top and crown content cleared Abyssos really fast too. Yeah. I mean, again, you don't have anything to prove to anybody. I mean, it's more just for your enjoyment, and it comes down to it, you know? What the fuck's the problem? YouTube, why are you like this? It's just, it's really just your personal preference of whether you want to do, you know, whatever content you want to do. It's no one's going to say, oh, you didn't do this Savage tier. Like, wow, what a, like, again, not you specifically. Like, nobody cares when so and so does Savage anymore. The only thing I have left to prove is getting a Savage clear week 1. I mean, do you have to prove that you can do it though? I mean, like, does it matter though? Like, I mean, if it, as like a personal thing, I can understand, but like, you know, I wish YouTube would just fucking work, man. This is annoying. Like, I can understand it as a, as like a personal. Jesus Christ, can you just play the fucking video? Well, yeah, majority of week 1 statics require people to have cleared at least one. No, I know. I've tried to get into week 1 clear groups, and yeah, it's like applying for a fucking job. Like, oh, you don't have experience with a week in clearing a group, a Savage tier week 1. It's like, well, no, because how the fuck am I supposed to get that experience if people don't want to, you know, bring me in? To trust me, I know what it's like to try and get into a week 1 group. But then again, I don't know. For a Savage, I want to clear as fast as possible and get biz so I can take a break and prepare for Chiller Ultimate. And that's understandable. because, you know, clearing Savage early is I mean, there's nothing like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to clear Savage early. Like, just to get it out of the way, because, like, nobody wants to do it in the long run. Because it's more of like a chore. Like, Savage becomes a chore the more you have to do it. So getting it done early, I completely understand that. Like, and that's the thing. That's the thing with, like, with me though. Like, I would love. Maybe like this expansion, this coming expansion, when it comes to Savage, I'm probably just gonna party find it and not try to find a group, because every time I get into a group, it ends up being a group that can't clear the first fight the first week, and I don't want to get stuck on that again. So I'm probably just gonna party find it. And I don't know if I'm even like, oh fuck, I just hit the wrong button. That's good. I don't even know if I'm week 1, you know, good enough. I mean, I probably, if I put the effort into, I'm sure I can do week 1 clear. If I have a group that knows what they're doing, most likely I can probably do a week 1 clear, no problem. Like, I'm not awful at the game. If I put in the work, I can definitely, you know, clear a fight if I, you know, I put my head into the game. Like for me, I'm still don't know if I want to do more ultimates. Like, I did enjoy it, but like, I don't know if I want, like, I don't know if I want to commit to a fight. Jesus Christ, she dies fast. I just don't know if I want to commit to another, like, you know, long, you know, frog, and like it ends up turning into feeling like a job, because that's what happens with me. Like, I'm not enjoying it and it's just starting to feel like it's a job, and I don't want, like, and that's why a lot of the times why I stopped playing the game, because like when I start doing like Savage, or even when I was doing, oh, it's okay, I guess we're just going, when I was doing like it started to feel like a fucking job, you know, even though we cleared it eventually. It's just having to show up, you know, every raid day, and then having to, you know, prog the fight, and then having to you know, I don't know, like some days I felt like doing it, some days I didn't. And, you know, maybe it's just a commitment issue that I have. Like, I think it's more of just like a personal issue with me. Like, I have, you know, I might have a commitment issues when it comes to like long-term group stuff. And I was enjoying the group. It definitely wasn't like group problem. I don't know why I hit that button. Like it definitely was not an issue. Like the group I was in, I'm like overcapping. Buh. Yeah. Like the group I was in, I really enjoyed the like progging and clearing ults. And like right now, I'm completely content with being a single ultimate legend. And even if it's just Uwu. You know, which most people say is not a real ultimate anymore. Like, you know what? I don't even care. Like, if people don't think it's an ultimate, whatever. That doesn't even bother me. Because, you know, I cleared it. Regardless if it's considered an ultimate or not. Without the melon, by the way, we did manual markers for Titan jails. And that fucking sucked for a while. Oh yeah, I'm sure I could. I don't doubt that I can't do those fights. I don't know if I want to commit to like progging such a long fuck. You know, like prog. Oh wow, I actually didn't get hit by that. You know, prog for those fights because for me it is like if it gets to a point where I'm not having fun, I don't want to, you know, like it just ends up feeling like it's a job, like I'm showing up because I have to show up because it's my job to show up because like I am part of this team or this group or whatever it is, and if I don't show up, it just screws everybody else. And UCOB, you can be done a week or two. Yeah, I guess depending on what the group I have. Sure. I mean, granted, I did see Nail. Like I was in a group that was, Jesus Christ, he's dead already. I was in a group doing UCOB with sorry. Maybe like 3 people weren't, including me, were new, and we saw Nail in like 3 hours. So I don't doubt that I can. Is this normal kill time these days? This is crazy. I haven't done that alliance in forever. It's been like 2 months. That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense because we were so overgeared at this point. Yeah, like I was saying, I saw Nail within 3 hours. Like consistent Nail. But I was still struggling with like Nail a little bit because like Nail is very scary on tank, especially when you don't know. When you don't know Nail at all. So, and we saw Bahamut. I mean, we saw Bahamut once. We died to Bahamut. Like I guess when he shows up, he kills. Like you didn't have the LB to survive. But I don't count that. I don't count that as like Bahamut Prague. Like to me, like and this was a while ago. So like, I was on nail prog in a 3-hour time period, but again, I would say more than half the group had done UCOB, and you know what, I wouldn't be okay with doing that. I mean, if we found a group that wants to you know, teach me UCOB, I don't mind that. I mean, I really do want to do UCOB because I think UCOB as a as a like, can I like think of words, aesthetically is amazing. Like, it's so cool. Granted, I would love to do T as well in sometime, but I'm not like, you know, that can wait. I can do T whenever. It's not going anywhere. I just really just wanted to do, even if I just do it once, I want to get the Dark Knight weapon. Like, I'm never gonna change my Dark Knight sword because, again, even though Uwu isn't ultimate per se, I still worked for it. I still put in the time. I still progged the fight. I still cleared the fight. Put all my effort into it to do the best I can. And you know, this is what I'm. You know, this is my way of, you know, of enjoying that. You know, again, sure, it's not the hardest ultimate, and you can argue that it's like savage tier difficulty compared to, you know, all the other ultimates we have. But for someone who's never done an ultimate and going into Uwu and frogging it from 0 to 100% and not using the melon, I would say that I'm pretty impressed with myself by doing that. Wow, look at this bunny, by the way. That's got you written all over it. I just hope starting after next week my health issues will be better, because I haven't been able to sleep very much, plus now I can barely breathe at night when I lay down. I'm sorry, Lola. I really do too. I hope things get better for you. Whatever you're going through, I'm sure is not fun in any way. And I do hope you get better. But you know what, though? Tomorrow's going to be tomorrow night we get some new interesting stuff. Hopefully we get some cool information tomorrow night, I hope. For the expansion. And you know, Hopefully it's a good keynote. Yeah, sure. But I don't. We could do Left 4 Dead 2. I don't have I with Killing Floor 2. I wasn't. I remember I tried Killing Floor 2 and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. But I'm definitely down for Left 4 Dead 2. Yeah. I'm whenever let me know when you're free. I know you messaged me the other night, and I was like that was one of the nights I went to sleep super early, so I completely forgot to respond to you. I think one of my biggest complaints with KF2 was, well, yeah, one of my biggest complaints was the size of it was insane. I feel like it was why is this game like 50 gigs or whatever it was? And also, it was like, it just, I don't know, it visually didn't look, maybe it was just, I don't know, there's something about it, like whole cash shop system, like, really threw me off. It didn't feel like Killing Floor 1. I don't even think I played the game. I think just the size of the game and I'm like booting it up, and like I was like just not. I didn't really care for how cash shop heavy it was, like on the main menu. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to play this. Or maybe I did play a little bit of it. I don't know. I forget. Granted, I could always give it a shot again. I don't know how long ago that was when I tried it. But Killing Floor 1's fun. I like Killing Floor 1 a lot. Money, money, money. It's still a really fun gameplay wise. Yeah, I honestly don't remember if I played it or not. I probably did play the actual game. I don't remember. But the thing is, if I did play it, I played it by myself. So I probably didn't enjoy it as much. But I used to remember playing way back when Killing Floor 1 was like big. I remember playing that online. I had no idea what I was doing. But I had some good times with Killing Floor 1. I got one more thing to do for this. Oh, really? Cool. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. I don't even know how much time I have in. Let's see. Let me see my Killing Floor 1. I have 26 hours in Killing Floor 1. And I played it. Last time I played it was in October 2021. I think I just played it for a little bit. I think I played a lot of it like many more, like much longer, like years ago. And then Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2, I have 75 minutes in it, so I didn't play much of it. Left 4 Dead. I don't have a lot of Left 4 Dead time on Steam because I played a shit ton of Left 4 Dead on Xbox. I only have 17 hours to Left 4 Dead 1 and 8.5, roughly 8.5 on Left 4 Dead 2. Oh no, I saw your playtime. Your playtime is insane. I mean, you have 22,000, you have almost 23,000 hours in Final Fantasy. You know how much time I have in Final Fantasy? I have 7,005 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 14,000 hours all across all my characters. I've been playing this game since on and off since the beta, and I only have 14,000 hours. And I don't do Ultimate, and I didn't do a lot of Savage. I don't know where the fuck these 14,000 hours came from. So that's actually kind of surprising to me. So now when I look at your 22,000, I'm like, well, that's not that much more than me. Because I'm sure a lot of your time is... You played Killing Floor 2 when it was just 4 perks in early access. I played Killing Floor 1 when it was early access. I think. Was it early access? Whenever it was. I remember playing Killing Floor 1 and it had like nothing. And I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was fun as fuck. But again, I haven't played a lot of... I didn't play a lot of it though. So how come I don't see your... Since that wasn't a thing yet on Steam. Yeah, you have 1,600 on that Killing Floor 1 and 679 on Killing Floor 2. Now, your Killing Floor hours are what I have in Dark Souls. Like in my Dark Souls hours, I think I have like a total of like, I don't know, like all of Dark Souls combined. I had to math it. That is not how you spell calculator. Let's see, 123. Not a lot on this one, only 56. 453. 267. Wow, 267 again. Yeah, so just Dark Souls, not including Elden Ring, not including Bloodborne, which I have a lot of. I have 1,166 hours just in the 3 Souls games, right across all variants of them. We want to add Elden Ring to that. $182. It's 1448. And then Bloodborne, I don't know because it's on my PS4, which I don't even have hooked up. So, like, I would say I probably have about like 300 hours in that. So I have close to 2,000 hours in Souls. Like, Souls is where a lot of my gaming time has been spent, which is crazy for me. Outside of 14, obviously. What is 1400? Too bad you don't have let's say Modern Warfare 5. Mech Warrior 5, that game's modability and replayability is just insane, and co-op is fucking insanely fun. I haven't, yeah, I know I remember you were playing a lot of it last year? Like before, like a year and a half ago? Or over a year ago? I never really played. I don't think I really checked that out. I haven't really looked into it much of it, because I haven't played a lot of MechWarrior since like 2 years ago. A little bit of 4. A little bit of MechWarrior Online. Hold on. 14. Oh. I'm actually gonna round it up to. Wait, how the fuck do I have? What is 1400? What is 14,005.95? What is 0.95? How does that make any sense? What is... I'm just gonna say 14,006. I don't even know what that means. Divided by... I don't know. I can't do math right now. My brain's too fucking stupid to do math. I was trying to figure out how many... Actually, I think it's just... What is it? It's just playtime, right? Oh, 291 days, 21 hours, and 33 minutes. That's what's weird to me. Like, I have 14,000 hours. I only have 291 days played. So. Is this not what it actually supposed to, like, is this what it looks like modded? This is not what it looks like. Because I never saw a MechWarrior without mods. I don't know what the base is off of. Might have the start from the beginning. Oh. I mean, I can check it out later. 5 modded is a completely different game. Oh, really? Okay. I'll have to see a comparison of, like, the game versus not, like, modded versus not modded. Honestly, because I don't know much about 5. Man, listening to this soundtrack really makes me want to play Xenoblade 1 again. The worst part about the game, though, is if you want to buy it, disparage. Why? What does that mean? It's $104 for all of the current content plus base game? What the fuck? Why? I don't think you can jump higher. That's insane. It has a lot of DLCs. The first two DLCs come with, I don't know, I'm reading it in a small window. There's a lot of DLCs. The first two DLCs come with the digital deluxe edition, but the last three DLCs you have to buy separately, and they're $10 to $20. And wait, they're $10 for one and $20 for the other two. That's insane. That's actually insane. I don't have this. I want to get the Rhine set. I don't feel like spending money though. The first was wait, can't read. The first were definitely needed to be that way. The last two DLCs are worth the price because they're all actually better written, developed than the actual base games. Were they written by different teams, or was it just like that they somehow got better at writing a story for the DLCs by the same team? Same team, but they're AAA release. Same team, but this is a AAA release game. I'm gonna just say something for a second while we're chilling here. Oh, first AAA game. I see what you mean. Ow. So bright. I sprang myself. I'm pretty sure the last DLC is the last. I'm pretty sure the last DLC is the last two. They're working on a clan-based MechWarrior 6. MechWarrior 5 is the first time the MechWarrior series didn't have clans or clan technology. That's interesting. So wait, so who is MechWarrior 5 the same? Is it the same team that did MechWarrior Online, or is that a different company altogether? MechWarrior 5 is also the first MechWarrior game since 2002. Not counting MOWO. Okay. So MWO is a different company? Why is... I don't have... What happened to it? PGI made MWO and MW5 and now MW6, but their license for the MechWarrior franchise ends in 2025. Microsoft has owned the MechWarrior trademark for a long ass time. Yeah, because I remember our gateway computer came with MechWarrior 2 back in 98, 98, 97, 96, whatever it was. Well, I guess I'm not going to try something because I don't seem to have the thing I want to try, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know where it is. Fuck you, stupid computer. FASA sold the rights, if I recall. And now if someone wants to make a MechWarrior game, they have to get the rights from Microsoft. I mean, I'm kind of surprised Microsoft hasn't like tried to make a new MechWarrior. It's kind of weird to me. Man, what am I missing? Yes, YouTube, I'm still watching. God damn it. Fun fact, the most popular MechWarrior game was made by Activision. Which one was that? Was that 2? No. Was that 3? It was 2. Okay. I remember 2. I remember 2 just being very orange. And not because the disc was orange, but the game was very orange. Very hard to play. I didn't have a fucking clue what I was playing that game. I loved the game, but I had no idea what I was doing. Why am I missing? Oh, right here. Aha. I knew I had it somewhere. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that was a bad idea. Let's... Is it gonna let me control my computer? We're in. Alright, no problem. Let's see. I want to see if this... If I can... That is not. Oh. Huh? There it is. Oh, I definitely can't be running. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't run both that and 14 at the same time. Just want to see if that how that looked. Very, very tempted to replaying Xenoblade. And the music is not helping. Or maybe it is helping. Maybe it's helping me decide. My frame rate dying right now. Just jump into a normal raid. Just why not? Excuse me. Oh no. What fight is this? Breath of the Creator? What is Breath of the Creator? Oops. Oh my god. Remember this is. Which one is this? Is this only split into groups? Is this the ball one? I don't remember. You feel miserable? Get some rest if you're not feeling well. Excruciator? Oh, it's this fight? Ugh. I hate this fight. Oh my god, the damage. I don't know, my frame rate is dying right now. Come on, kill it. Kill it. Man, allowed. Remember when tank busters didn't have giant red circles and you just had to mitigate damage? Ow. Why is this person... Why do they voke? What? The fuck is wrong with this tank? Death busters, yeah. I hate when people do that. I'm the tank. I'm gonna pull aggro now because I'm the tank and I want a tank now. Like, bro, I already have the boss facing the right from the party. Why are you turning the boss towards the party? What is going on? My fucking frame rate, man. Shouldn't have opened Yuzu. Deathbusters were so much fun. I miss that though. I miss when tank busters, or you know, deathbusters, if you want to call it that, were just like random. And you just had to. It wasn't just like, oh, time to push your button to take less damage. What the fuck is using so much CPU? I want to go lay down though. Probably won't be able to sleep for another 2 hours. Alright, well, no problem, Olive. Thanks for hanging out. You feel better though. Try to get as much rest, you know. Do the best you can. I mean, even laying down is better than, you know, suffering in a chair. You have a good night too, Lala. Feel better. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know why my tank... I'm right, like tanking so hard. What if I... What if I just started playing with fucking Xenoblade? For like an hour. What the hell can I do in an hour? I feel like an hour of Xenoblade would be like 5 minutes of the story.
Let the rebels begin!
I don't know what this song is. It's obviously, I know it's obviously Xenoblade, but I don't know what part this is from. How did somebody die? Is this... Oh my god. I'm dying. Whew. And people don't know. Back in the day when you just had to mitigate damage.
The seas part for we alone.
There was no... There was no tank buster. Well, there was certain attacks that you knew it was a tank buster, but there was just tank cleaves that would just fuck your day up. And you have no idea, like right there, I had Rampart up for that shit. Fell off right before he hit me. Or maybe he fell off as he hit me, I don't know. But I have no idea when it's coming. That's the thing. I missed that. I don't know what this is from. Oh, God. What the fuck? Oh, what? Really? That hit me? Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dead.
The seas part for we alone. Power high.
Who wants that? Who wants to take it? I don't want it. This was a really fun extreme when it came out. I really enjoyed Susie Q Extreme. Kill the sword before the orbs hit. Flashbang. Sir, we're here. So now he's gonna do actual tank busters. Oh, wait a minute, they added icons to Stormblood? Oh shit. When did they do that? Weird. That's definitely more recent than... Does he still do... I forgot if he still does cleaves. I can't... No, they're fine. And the autos are crazy in this fight. Am I like wearing gear? Like, why do I feel like I'm taking so much extra damage? He doesn't cleave anymore. He just does the regular buster. Okay.
The seas part for we alone.
So I'll save my Sheltron then, because I don't need to he is dying. He's not very fast. Nice.
It was a memorable dance indeed.
It's so weird. Wait a minute. Huh? Oh. It's future connected as well. OST. I was like, this is the end of the game. But there's so many more songs, but I guess future connected. No, wait a minute. That's not true. Or is this... You know what? It's been a long time since I played Xenoblade. I don't remember what this part is actually. This might be. Oh, you know what? I think this is post Sword Valley. I think that's what that is. I thought that was final music, but it's not. I'm really, really tempted. I'm not really doing anything. I think I'm gonna switch just for a little bit. I think I'm gonna play some Xenoblade. Yeah, give me I'll leave this playing. Give me a minute. I'm gonna let me set it up, and then I'm gonna restart the YouTube stream so I can have the updated title. Make sure. Okay. Probably not do single screen because I think that's what was causing issues before. Why is it ordered? Maybe they'll change. All right, let me restart YouTube with the updated title.